Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God. I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome again to the Crystal Jones Show, the show that's all about life's balance. I am your talk show host. I greet you in the name of Ahaya, Bahashem Yeshaya, Warawak Kwadash. Thank you for tuning in again. Let me tell you how you can watch the show. You can watch the show every Saturday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on bronxnet.org, or your cable channels 951 and 2137, the Inspire channel. Also, check me out on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my channel, like and share my videos. Let's grow the channel. Also, you can check me out on Facebook. You could go to Crystal Jones pictures and videos on Facebook. And also, you could check me out on Instagram, Hebrew Connect .tv. All right. So you could check me out on in all of those areas. And remember, on YouTube, you can watch me all the time. You could just go through my videos. Okay. So thank you all for tuning in again. All right. So we're going to start off with the Word of God. And we are going to go right to Genesis, the 6th chapter, the first through the second verse. Remember, we're going to be discussing Hebrew Israelite women in the Bible and today, because there are many things that we kind of get the blame for. Kind of becomes like a blame game, you know. But I just want to be an encouragement to our women to keep pressing on and to know that nobody's perfect. I don't care what people say to you about us or whatever. We have to trust God, and we have to own up to, the things that we need to change about us. And, stick together and keep on keeping on with the Lord. All right. So what I want to bring out is what caused the fall of mankind, period, which of course, you know, in the Bible, it says about Adam and Eve and all of that. But we know that at the time that, Eve was able to talk to the serpent, I think I spoke about it last week, but where was Adam? How come he didn't cover her? And I'm not saying that it was his fault or anything like that, but apparently he knew more than she did, because God had told him and given him the rules for us to be in the garden. And remember, we came from him, from Adam. All right. So I'm just trying to open your eyes to different things that went on in the Bible, and how we all have to come back to the humility to say when we're wrong, and to recognize the things that we do wrong. And we can grow from there. All right. Don't I'm not trying to put us down and make us the worst people in the world, because that's not true. All right. So we're going to go back again, and we're going to be in Genesis, the 6th chapter. We're going to go through the first and the second verse for right now. And it says, "And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them." Right. So this is, after the creation and everything like that. Um, we began to multiply on the face of the earth, and we had children, right? And the sons of God are the angels. All right. Now the angels are they are supposed to be the watchmen over us. They're supposed to, watch out for our, the good of us in the land. They're supposed to report back and forth to the Lord on what's going on the earth. So they're supposed to guard us. They're supposed to, when something comes about or whatever instructions they have from the Lord, that's what they're supposed to do. Now, let's not make that an excuse to do what you want to do, because if after the Lord sends you help and you don't receive it, you're on your own, right? Okay, so it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God, which are the angels, saw the daughters of men that they were fair. So why were they checking us out? They shouldn't have been doing that, because that's not what God created them for, right? And they took them wives, all of which they chose. So they decided, like, well, look, we gonna do this. Hey, let's do this thing. Okay, so later on, I'm gonna go into what happened regarding that in the book of Enoch. Okay, that was a book that was taken out of the original King James, that was taken out of the Bible. Okay, so and that's one of the books that we need to read to understand what happened in the beginning of time. All right, why why things go on now, because there's nothing new under the sun, but a lot of things started somewhere. Everything started somewhere, right? So we're going to go into that later on. All right, so the next thing that I am going to cover today, I have I wanted to talk about today's news. All right, I think this is a very sad situation. Okay, I found this on one of the news breaks, and the title I'm going to say is "Children Alone," because I'm an advocate for the kids. Like, come on, y'all, really? So now it says late news producer. This person's one of one of the people in this article is about a news producer, male, and his wife are accused of leaving their children alone while they went out on a date where he died. So this husband and wife, okay, the husband is a news producer. Him and his wife went out on a date, but they left their kids alone at home. And while they were on a date, the husband died, right? So the late news producer and his widow, because he died, are accused of leaving their young children unattended inside a hotel room while they went out for dinner, where he ended up dead. Now, they named the husband. A senior producer at a certain newspaper told officials, I'm sorry, she is also a senior producer. She told officials that she and her husband left their two toddlers. They left two kids, toddlers. Toddlers mean what? You just starting to walk, right? So they left their two, then they had two of them, two toddlers at a hotel room while they went out for an evening in Manhattan when her husband collapsed from a fatal heart attack. Okay. Now, her husband died in December, and he was, 37 years old. It's pretty young. Hours later, the wife was arrested and charged with 2 counts of child endangerment after the police department received a call from one of the, exclusive members club for unattended children on the premise. Following the police's response to where they were located, where they lived at, all right, the widow was charged with 2 counts of acting in a manner injurious to a child. According to the police, upon their arrival, officers discovered a 2-year-old female and a 5-month-old female. So these weren't really, one was a toddler. 2 years old is a toddler, right? And a 5 month, that's like an infant, right? I mean, what? So these are two little girls. One is 5 and the other, one is 2, I'm sorry, and the other's 5 months. Okay. The children have been left alone inside of a hotel room for an extended period of time. Now, this is ridiculous. They were at a hotel. Don't they have babysitting services at the hotels, like downstairs, some, where you can leave your children if you're, going to have dinner downstairs in the hotel? Why would you leave a toddler and an infant in a hotel by themselves? I just can't even understand that, because a 5-year-old can get up and start walking around. Even if you think you've put them to bed. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, people probably think to themselves, oh, yeah, well, we'll put them to bed and they're asleep now. You can't leave your kids by themselves like that. Are you kidding me? I just can't even believe. And the sad thing is, the husband died while they were downstairs at the restaurant. Like, what? So that means they were left for a very long time, because once he had the heart attack, I'm pretty sure she probably might not even been thinking about the kids. She probably was thinking to get to her husband to the hospital or something. Like, who knows how long they were left. Like, come on, y'all. We got to do better. Seriously. That don't make no kind of sense. I'm sorry. I just I don't get this thing that people do with these kids. So many of these kids are left alone. A lot of times they found wandering around in the street at 3 a.m. in the morning, and then they got child protective services going out to get the children and bring them to try to figure out who else is related to them until, the parent or whoever was supposed to be in charge is investigated. Like, I don't understand that at all, y'all. I don't. Please, please. You have children. Come on, y'all. Do better. You know, if you want to go out and do things like that, you have family, you have friends, somebody. Don't just leave those kids. That's not right. God gave you those children. You know what I'm saying? Come on. That I don't even know what to say, because now what's gonna happen, because the father's dead, the mother, she may go to jail. And what's gonna become of the kids? Because putting them in the system, that's not a good idea either. Hopefully if they have to, take the children, that they'll be able to go to relatives that love and care for them. Dude, come on, people. That's just that's ugly. I'm sorry. Stop it. Please. All right, so we're gonna move on from that one. Let's go to our health and wellness. Let's consider butane stoves and brick oven stoves, okay? Because we're seeing what's going on all over the United States. All kind of weather is going on. The grid done has gone down already in a couple of states. Who knows when it's going to reach over here? If it, I hope it don't, but Lord knows, we just, we're just in, we're just in the winter. We just basically started the winter season. So I just, the way that things are going, it's not looking too promising, so it's best to be safe than sorry. Think about those little butane stoves that they have, you know, and also the brick stoves. You could, look at the different videos on how those are very easy. Just put together like about 6 bricks or whatever, and put like um the little kerosene, those little butane little, you know what I'm talking about, the earners, the sterners. Put them right there in the middle, and you can make yourself like a little stove top with that, so that it, just in case things go down, at least you have that, the butane stove or the brick stove, because it's no telling what's going to happen now. A lot of people have lost power in the South. They haven't had heat and hot water and stuff like that for days. So let's be prepared. All right. Also, on that note, for a business tip, if you want to do indoor events at your churches, at your schools, or whatever, when you get together, with your community, um, you know, have an indoor event where you all bring suggestions and examples of, indoor stoves and ovens that, like butane or brick stoves, something from scratch, one of those things where you could kind of build it from scratch, or you one and if the lights go out or something like that, you don't have to worry. Okay, so better to be safe than sorry. And because if the grid goes down, something like that, who knows when it's coming back up. You could be a month out with nothing, right? All right. Also, don't forget to get the food. Keep stocking up with your pantry. The things that you need to get just in case. All right. Okay. So we're down to our credo now, right? So we are gonna say our credo. Shama Yasharala, Ahaya Alahaya Nawa, Ahaya Echad. Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God. The Lord is one. Deuteronomy, the 6th chapter and the 4th verse. Okay, so we're going to go to the lesson of the day, which is Israelite women in the Bible and today. Okay. Um, we we who are Israelite women today, we have a whole different set of circumstances, but there's nothing new under the sun, y'all. It's the same thing. The same things that came against us in the days of old are just reappearing another way. The same devil, just a different day. You know what I'm saying? So we have to, stand up and be the women that we're called to be. We have to, encourage one another, stay close to our God, continue to, know the scriptures and live them out in actuality, in real life. Teach them to your children, and rehearse them within yourself. You know what I'm saying? Because this world is stark raving mad. It has flipped this wig. It really has. The things that are going on are really crazy, and it's getting worse. All right, so we need to continue to hold to the Lord. Okay, and let's stick together, y'all. Let's stick together. Let's stick together. We used to do it in the days of old. Let's go back to that. Let's stick together. Okay, so we are going to go back to the lesson, which is Genesis, the 6th chapter. And I read the first through the second verse. And we read down a little bit more. It says, and the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Now in the 4th verse, it said, there were what? Giants. There were giants in the earth in those days. Where do those giants come from, right? And also after that, when the sons of men came in unto the daughters of men, and they bear, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, these are these angels that I'm speaking about, not the giants, but the angels. The sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them. The same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. Okay. Now, the children that the angels had with the women were giants. Okay, because you're mixing angelic and human blood together, which was never supposed to be. All right. So, and God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. So the Lord started seeing that things were just really spiraling out of control, because you got the angels who think they're trying to mix with the women, okay, and messing up the earth, because there are some other things we're going to find out. We're going to find out, right? And it repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth. So the Lord was sorry that he even created man, because it was just so much mess going on, right? And it grieved him at his heart, which is a shame that, we grieve the Lord. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repenteth me that I have made them. All right. Now, this is where we're going to change over, and we're going to go to the book of Enoch. All right. And we're going to find out the backdrop of this whole story, right? So this is why they took Enoch. They don't want Enoch in the Bible, because they don't want you to know what we're about to see on the earth. We're going to be seeing all kind of stuff, y'all. We really are. So, and some people have already seen. All right. So, we are going to go to Enoch, the 6th chapter, right? The book of Enoch, the 6th chapter. Let me make sure I'm going to the right version of Enoch that I wanted. Let's see, which one did I want for the Enoch? Yeah, the book of Enoch. Here we go. Okay, so we go to Enoch chapter 6, right? And it says, and it came to pass, when the children of men had multiplied in those days, were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. So now this is basically the same backdrop of what I read to you, but we're going to read it in the book of Enoch so we can get the details. And the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them. See, they didn't want you to know that. All right. That's why they took it out, the 66 books in the Bible. All right. And okay, so the angels, the children of heaven, saw and lusted after them, and said to one another, Come, let us choose us wives from among the children of men, and beget us children. Like, who told you to do that? That was for the men on the earth to do. Who told you to do that? Right? And Semjaza, who was their leader. So Semjaza is a fallen angel, right? But he's the leader of these fallen angels. Okay, they've been coerced into this foolery, right? Semjaza, who was their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed. So he's provoking them like, yeah, y'all ain't going to do this. Y'all going to make me get in trouble for all of this, right? See, I don't think y'all going to do it. So this is what we got to do. We got to make a covenant together. All right. I fear you will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty of a great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath and all bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. We're going to do this. We're going to do this thing, right? Then swear they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were in all 200 who descended. They descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called it Mount Hermon because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it, meaning blood. You know how people cut their wrist and they make blood they swear, in blood and stuff like that. Those are curses that they really bringing on themselves, because you ain't supposed to do that, right? So they swore and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders, Semjaza, and they name all of these other angels that were in on this deal, right? So let's go see what happened in chapter 7 of Book of Enoch. And all the others together with them took unto themselves wives. So they also say, yeah, we down with this. And each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them and to defile themselves with them. Because whenever you come together like that, blood is passed, right? That's why what the children are what the father is, right? Your father's DNA, right? Because blood is passed, uh, you know, during when a male and female come together, right? So, and they taught them charms, which is another form of witchcraft, and enchantments. You know how people do those enchantments and things like that against people. They, you know, worship evil spirits and stuff like that. And the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. How did they make us acquainted with plants? They taught us how to take different herbs and things like that and cross them onto other different plants to like, instead of an orange tree, you have an orange tangerine tree. Stuff like that. Not that that in itself was wrong, but that's not what a lot of things that we originally had, and with the animals and stuff like that, a lot of those animals weren't here at first. They were crossbred. So this is what these angels took upon themselves to teach us. All right. Okay. So the cutting of roots, and made them acquainted with plants. And they became pregnant, meaning the women, and they bare great giants. So a woman uh, having sexual relationships with an angel is going to produce a giant. Why? Our blood is different from the makeup of an angel. All right. And most of the time, angels are probably pretty tall anyway. Okay. So imagine them with us. And then now we got now we got a child, but the child grows to like 10 feet. Okay. So they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of men. Okay, and when men could no longer sustain them, meaning the giants were eating so much, they were just eating up everything. All right, so they had to crossbreed the animals to create like dinosaurs, and that's where all that crap come from. Okay. They had to crossbreed so that they could make huge animals to try to satisfy the appetite of these giants, right? And when men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against birds and beasts and reptiles and fish, and to devour one another's flesh, meaning they were eating people, and drink the blood. Now, you know you ain't supposed to be drinking nobody's blood, because the life of the animal or of a person is in the blood. You can't, mm-mm. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless one. So even the earth was crying out, because the earth is here to bring forth certain things, you know, for the people to eat, for us to eat and stuff like that, right? We're supposed to have different seasons and all of that. But when you got these giants eating up everything, and then you have to make, instead of a regular size orange, you got to make a huge orange, or like I said, an orange tangerine, and it got to be huge and all of that, because now you got all these giants on the earth. That messes up the earth. So the earth is crying out like, that's not what God made me for. Come on, right? So let's go to chapter 8. And Azazel taught men to make swords and knives, right? So Azazel took it upon himself to teach men to make swords and knives, and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth. We weren't supposed to be learning that. That wasn't the time that we were supposed to learn that. We wasn't even supposed to be learning that. So they taught us weaponry. We learned that stuff from the fallen angels, y'all. All right. We learned that from them. All right. So they taught us how to make knives and shields and swords and breastplates and the metals of the earth, the art of working them. And guess what? Now, the women, listen to this. They taught us bracelets and ornaments and the use of antimony and the beautifying of the eyelids. Oh, yeah, that's where we learned um, makeup and stuff like that. And all kinds of costly stones, the necklaces that we wear and all of that, and all coloring tinctures. Okay. So there are a lot of things that we learn in the earth that, uh, not that it's wrong, and not that that in itself is wrong, because yeah, we're supposed to be, beautify ourselves and stuff like that. But they took it too far because that wasn't something that we were supposed to know at that time. Okay. So, they taught us makeup and all of that kind of stuff, right? All kind of costly stones and all of that, right? So, and there arose much godlessness. So this, remember now, at this point we weren't used to all of that, right? So now that we, Lord, yo, I'm looking fly, right? So now that brings about other things, right? Because if we beautify, when we beautify ourselves and stuff like that, of course, men are attracted to us. But at this time, we got these angels that's attracted to us, like just going crazy, right? That ain't supposed to happen. The men are supposed to be attracted to us, but not the angels. What are they doing, right? So, there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, right? Which is what? Premarital sex. And they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. So they just became very sexually aroused and all of that kind of stuff. And they just went wild. They was led astray, right? So you got all this going on with the fallen angels. They teaching all of this stuff, and they having sex and all this. The angels ain't supposed to be doing. What are they doing? Right? So Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings and amaros, the resolving of enchantments, all of this witchcraft stuff he taught, astrology, the constellations, the knowledge of the clouds, okay, and the course of the moon. You know what I'm saying? But they did it to not to know, how things work in the heavens and stuff like that, but they were doing it to, like, for idol worship, to worship the moon, the sun, the stars, and all that kind of stuff. That you're not supposed to be doing. That God is to be worshiped, not the stuff that he made, right? And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. Okay, so already we have, as is, Israelite women, okay, um, we have where in the Garden of Eden, okay, we had uh, where the serpent, which was a fallen angel, right? Because serpent is from the word seraph, from the seraphim, right? So he, came and beguiled us and whatnot, and we didn't know what Adam knew. And, it doesn't seem like we were really covered by Adam at that time. I don't know where he was or what was going on, but that's what a lot of our women have gone through today in this day and time, is not being covered. All right. Many of you who are, women, whether you're Israelite women or not, but I'm speaking to you know our women. Okay, a lot of times we've been in a situation where we weren't covered. Okay, Some didn't have fathers. All right. Some were molested by family members. All right. Some were molested by the next door neighbor, the Mr. Charlie or whoever and stuff like that. So, because of that, those type of things, just like the angels, they were supposed to be our protectors. And they weren't. They weren't there for us. They was like, yeah, we gonna have y'all, and you know what, put on makeup. Yeah, let me show you about how to do it. Yeah. And all of this kind of stuff. All right. So this is what we're dealing with even in today. It's the same thing, just a different day. The same thing. Just like the angels fell in our neighborhoods, the men have fallen. All right. And a lot of times they basically did the same thing. Some of them turned our women out, have women as escorts and as all kind of whorish stuff. Okay. Things that you maybe didn't have any control over. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're a young girl and you have an uncle or somebody who's doing this kind of stuff to you, or pushing you to do this, that's not, come on now, that's going to give you what, a whorish spirit, right? Because in order for you to be able to, you kind of going along to get along, you may hate what's going on, as a child and whatnot. You hated that. You hated that you were raped, or you were made to do things that were wrong, didn't seem right, seem off, right? And you play it off, and you go on in life and stuff like that, but that stuff affects you. It does. And we need to, as women, sit down and talk about these things. Talk about it. Talk about it. Because yes, we can pray about it, but there are things that we need to talk through to each other. Confide in the Lord, and ask God to send, women that you can trust. You can talk to, God-fearing women, you know, that we can get these things out of our system. And those are the things that cause what they call us the angry black woman, or this or that or the other. Sometimes it's stuff like that happened to us by people. Can you imagine? This happened to us through angelic beings taking advantage of us. Okay, so I can imagine maybe what those women were acting like. They weren't called necessarily, because I know somebody gonna say, well, they wasn't called no Israelite woman back then. No, but they're in the lineage of the Israelite people. Okay, so they are our ancestors. Okay, and the same thing, the same curses you see being done today. Okay, and those things follow you into your adulthood if you don't deal with them. It will follow you into your adulthood. Okay, and then it can mess up your relationships. You could be constantly choosing to be with the wrong man. You know what I'm saying? Or choosing to be with the wrong man, allowing men to take advantage of you and things like that. And sometimes you may think that you have to put up with it because a person the person may say they're God-fearing man. Well, the angels thought that they was God-fearing. Okay. So you have to ask God for the strength to deal with this situation, whether you have to go back and talk to, sometimes in some cases people have gone back and talked to people who defiled them. Maybe you have to confront it. If not, maybe there's counseling that you can get. I mean, the right kind, not the kind of people gonna seduce you or do something crazy like that. But these are some things that stem in the the heart and the spirit of an Israelite woman. We've been through so much. You know what I mean? Our people, um, America wasn't the first place that we were enslaved. Okay, America's not the first place that our women were raped. It's not the first place that we were taken advantage of. We've been in like 12 different type of captivities. I'm telling you, about 12. Okay, each nation had a chance to really do us in. Okay, believe me, they have. You could, go and read about it. There are different books that'll tell you. There are different people that are coming out and telling the truth about what we've been through as women. Okay, and also being put down sometimes by our own men, saying that, oh, y'all ain't no good, y'all too, y'all think y'all something else and all of that. But it's not even that. It's the hurt, it's the things that our women have been through. Okay, and still going through. You know what I mean? Still being looked down upon and talked about that, we're no good, we're just angry, and we're not wife material, and just no, not a lot of encouragement. Not. We really don't get a lot of encouragement, whether it's from our people or even people from other nations. So I wanted to bring it out. A lot of that stuff started back in the garden and after. All right, we've dealt with a lot. I mean, being tricked by the serpent and then being taken advantage of by the angels. That's pretty ridiculous, right? But nevertheless, we must face these things, and we have to continue. We have to continue. We have to run the race that is set before us with grace and patience. We have to, with patience, we possess our souls, you know, and every day is not always a pretty day. Um, you know, Sometimes things come up in your mind that happen to you, whether you were taken advantage of or whatever. Sometimes those things come to memory, and they're very ugly memories. Okay, so we gotta get we gotta continue to move through this so that we could be the women that God is calling us to be in these last days, because things are going to get worse on this earth, y'all, and we're going to be needed to help our people get through these times. Okay, because as you can see, what's going on in this earth is crazy. It's crazy. We don't know how much longer this place is even going to be. All right, and then after that, to have to maybe flee, who knows what's coming, because basically everything has been dismantled little by little. It's been dismantled. Okay, so I wanted to bring to you some of the things that we have been through, we've been through as women. Okay, and these are the different things that we were taught. We were taught all this stuff by the fallen angels, y'all. The makeup, everything, the beautifying and all that. Cause let me tell you something, we were beautiful without. Our hair used to cover used to come down and cover us. That's how God made us. I mean, come on now. We were the first women on the earth, right? So, I'm going to read a little bit more of what was going on. It says, and then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel, the good angels, looked down from heaven and saw much blood being shed upon the earth, and all lawlessness being wrought upon the earth. And they said one to another, The earth made without inhabitant cries the voice of their crying up to the gates of heaven. So this thing is so heavy that the earth, the people, okay, uh, the people in the earth itself is crying out because it can't contain the mess that's going on. And that's what's going on now. This earth can't contain the bloodshed, the hatred, the lies. There are so many lies, y'all. So many lies. And if you start something with a lie and with deceit, it's it's gonna it's gonna it's gonna puff up in your, it's gonna blow up in you, it's gonna blow in your face. It really is. You're not gonna, it's not gonna be able to be contained because this was started on a lie. Okay, all that happened, all we were taught, lies that affects us to this day. Still, we still lie to. Okay, the history of our people, you know, when we were going to school, we were only able to learn about what? Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Frederick Douglass, Dr. King. But there were more than five, five leaders of our people. I mean, come on. If you go back in the Bible, we had Moses, we had Joseph, we had we had Adam, we had so many different ones that led us out of so many different situations that we were in captivity. When we were in captivity, the Lord led us out through so many different people. Look at Esther and her uncle Mordecai that got us out of that Persians. We were in Persian captivity at that time. It was the Persians and the Medes. Okay, so we've gone through so much, and that's where that bitterness comes from, because it happened before we got here. It happened when we were on our way here. Can you imagine our people being put on a boat with all these, lined up like dead bodies and on top of each other? Okay, and on boats from Africa to America. Can you imagine? Somebody's over you, and of course their feces and everything, because they can't help it, because what? You're on a boat and you're chained down. Okay, so I don't understand when the people have the nerve to call our people animals. I think, to me, only animals, only people with animal mentality could do that to other people. Chain them down and put them on top of each other, and then take them out on the deck sometime if you felt like it, and spray them with water. Just spray them with water, I guess, to wash off the feces and the urine. Not a bath. Just take a hose or buckets of water, and tell them to just march up and down to circulate the blood, the blood circulation. It was so bad, a lot of our people jumped over the side. They was like, forget it, I'm gonna try to swim back to Africa, to the continent. That, it's really, it's terrible. Okay, and then to have gotten here and had our children taken from us, because different slave plantations, I guess, they They were bartering people. Oh, this plantation need 4 kids, because after the kids get a certain age or whatever, they can help pick the cotton and all that kind of nonsense. These people are hard. I just, it lets me know that, yeah, that's why they're able to do the things that they do, because you have to be sick in your mind to be doing stuff like that. You really, really do. You really do. And it's really crazy, right? But these are the different things, and people think that, well, that happened a long time ago, and not that many people owned slaves. Yes, they did. Go look up in them records. Stop lying. There's a lot of records of all these different plantation owners, please, that had 250 slaves. Some people, I guess the more money you had or whatever, you could have more slaves and stuff like that. But the things that they did, like on Sunday, they would announce in their church what they were going to do to our people. You know, I've told you some of those things they would do. Cut our people's fingers off. Uh, make make the men have sexual relations with other men, or all kind of buck breaking things that they did. Then what else, right? uh didn't give us the land that we were supposed to be given, the 40 acres and a mule and all of that, right? And then redline us. You can't live here. You can't swim in this pool. You can't. And they still doing the same thing today, right? um they don't want us to go to uh private schools, or all of a sudden they started charging tuition. Did you know that we didn't used to pay for college here? Well, America didn't, you know. uh yeah, one time college was free here, but then when our people started wanting to go to college, then all of a sudden they said no. You know, start charging tuition so that we could keep the undesirables. That's what they call the undesirables. We keep them out. Okay. Then it went from that to so many different things they didn't want. We couldn't live here. Then they wanted us on the welfare system, right? And if you get on the welfare system, your husband can't live with you. So conquer and divide the family up, you know. And we went through a lot. We went through a lot of that. And that stuff, because it hasn't been too long ago that our people went through that. It ain't too many generations ago. Okay. So some of the women that we came up under were angry people because of different things that was going on. Right? They would want you to think today, oh yeah, you could work wherever you want to work. You could do it. You could, a lot of knowledge about different things weren't made available to us. If you wanted to get some kind of money to help you to go to school and stuff like that, they're not giving it to every black person that says, oh yeah, I want to go. You understand what I'm saying? So can you imagine what that's like, for us as Israelite women to not be able to tell our kids, okay, you can go to school. This is what it's going to be and all of that. If we didn't have the money, and our men didn't have the money to provide, for the kids, it it's really bad. So I want you all to understand that I understand what we've been through and what we're still going through. Still, everything we do. If we braid our hair, we too ghetto. If we if we wear a hat, oh, she trying to be this. And everything we do, it's always something. But in the midst of that, I'm saying we have to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments and the ordinance of the Lord. And we have to work on our spirit. We have to work on uh, you know, being able to live amongst the enemy who is consistently trying to take us down. All right. So we gotta come together and talk about things and understand who we are, what we've been through, what we're still going through. All right. But let's be there for one another as the Lord would have us to be. Because the way this world is going, y'all, it won't be long. You hear me? I really don't know if 50 more years is going to pass. I don't know, because unless the Lord, the Bible even tells you that the Lord may shorten the days, because if he doesn't, no flesh will be saved. Do you see how people just killing each other? People killing the kids, selling the body parts. They catching people left and right selling these body parts. That's why I try to, warn y'all too. Be careful. Sometimes people just want to kidnap folks to take their body parts and leave the rest of the body, on the side of the road and stuff like that. Because this world is crazy. It's, as Christ said, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the days when the Son of Man cometh. So when Christ comes back, things are going to be so in such turmoil that when he cracks that sky and they see him, the black man that he is, they going to be shocked. Like, okay, because when he comes, he's not coming to, just be like, oh, I'm here. Oh, no, he's coming for vengeance. Okay, he's coming against the enemy. He's coming, the Bible, it speaks of, he's coming with tens of thousands. He's coming with thousands. Okay, so that means that all this crap that they got going here on the earth and stuff like that, they gonna think to use that stuff against Christ, and he gonna come with something that they ain't ready for. Okay, because I told y'all, he's not going to vote. He's not going to say, vote for me. Come to the polls. No, he's going to wipe them out, and he's going to rule and reign as was supposed to be. He's the Son of God. That's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to reign. Okay. So anyway, thank y'all for joining in. Check me out on my YouTube channel and my the Crystal Jones TV show, and also Facebook, Crystal Jones Pictures and Videos, and on the Instagram and the HebrewConnect.tv. All right. So yes, on Saturdays, BronxNet.org, channel 951-2137, the Inspire channel. All right. And so God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. Thank you for tuning in. Kwam Yasharala Kwam. Rise up. Tell the story. Live it. All right. God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. And you always stay balanced.
Stop using church intimidation, control and manipulation. Jezebel and all them spirits fall back, not trying to hear it. Go with Jesus, walk in peace. On your pew can sit that beast that we're fighting in the world. I'm that JC Supergirl, Jesus Christ, belt of truth, arm of God, I'm slaying you. Power of the word, two-edged sword. MC Heaven rocks for her Lord. Thought they crept in unaware, didn't see the gatekeeper standing right there. Not getting down with your tactics, undoctrinal practice.